Hello everyone, good evening. Hello dear YouTube babies. It's been a long time that we have seen. So I thought of as the net exams are going to happen. So it's just maybe like 20 more days that you have for a net exam to come. So I've thought of doing some paper one revisions also because paper one is very important regarding with the paper, the net exam. How are you all? How are you all doing? Is it okay with you? Are you learning? Yeah. So today with the revision of paper one, we'll do with basically 2 units of paper one. We'll do with research aptitude and logical reasoning, right? Good. Such aptitude and logical reasoning we'll do with, and I have the questions with me, and you can tell me the answers on the chat box, everyone. Yeah. Welcome everyone. Good evening. Good evening. You can see your messages on the chat box. Very good. These days you had the revisions on the paper two, that is in English literature part, you were having the revisions, but from now, today, you have a revision on paper one. Now this will continue like as we had like the last uh, sessions what we had because we are doing revisions on paper one also, right? So that we'll continue with. Yeah, fine. Can we move on to the first question? The first question is if it's about research aptitude and logical reasoning. If a research project is set up so that everybody in the population of interest has an equal chance of being included in the sample, the research involves dash. What are judgmental probability convenience sampling? Yeah, the answer is probability sampling. Yeah, if there is an equal chance of being included in the sample, it is called probability sampling. Okay, it's probability sampling. Next one. Qualitative researchers criticizes quantitative researchers research for its tendency towards maybe like it's not good to criticize quantitative, but on what basis they criticize? So qualitative researchers criticize quantitative research. So on what basis? Emphasis on evidence, focus on empiricism, reductionism, obsession with creativity. What is the answer that you have? Yes, the answer is reductionism. Reductionism is the answer. Okay. So the next one you have two sets to maths. Set one is a research methods. Set two is what the definitions of that research methods. It's very easy. uh, every time I used to tell that what all things or what all which is very comfortable with you options you can match it and then see the options. So maybe ethnographic method. Ethnographic method means maybe like about the anthropogenic studies. Okay, studies about the people. So what you have is C4, maybe like that is the answer. So C4, but you have two options. Then go with another one. So two is the option. A2 quantitative. It involves the use of computational statistical methods and all. So with that, you can finalize the option where you have A2, B1, C4, and D3, right? And what do you mean by sampling cases? We have discussed the sampling cases before also in the revision classes. Sampling cases means what? Sampling using a sampling frame, identifying people who are suitable for research, literally the researcher's briefcase, or sampling of people, newspapers, television programs, etc. What is that? Yeah, I can see the answers. You can chat on the chat box, guys, everyone. Sampling cases means it's sampling of people, newspapers, television programs, sampling cases. Okay. In academic writing, the abbreviation F Sorry for that. Some glitches happened in between. Maybe like let me see what happened. Yes. So arrange the following components of a research paper written in APA style in correct order. You have figures, methods, introduction, tables, and results. So in a research paper writing, or maybe in a maybe in a thesis writing that you can have. So can you just tell me? Yeah, the answer here is 3, 2, 5, 4, 1, where you have introduction as the first one because all the options goes with the introduction as the first one. Then we need to think that which is the next one. After introduction, we have methods, definitely, but three options with methods again. And definitely we have the results now. Okay. And then coming to results, we have two options. Then we need to finalize whether it is tables or figures. So tables and then figures are there. Yeah. There are two statements given. So snowball sampling is a type of random sampling. Statement two, snowball sampling is helpful when participants belong to hard to reach groups. Yeah, which one you are telling it is correct. Snowball is not actually a type of random sampling because it is a type of non-probability sampling. So statement one is incorrect that we can say, but statement two is correct. That is option. So maybe like statement two also you need to check whether that's correct only because snowball sampling is the one which where participants belong to hard to reach. That means it's a chain referral sampling. So as you don't know, you refer to one person and that person referred the another sample like that it works on. You need to go with what is not a research. What is not a research? Very easy. By reading the option itself, you can get see. Maybe like it will be lengthy question or lengthy option, but you when you take time to read, it will be what it will be easy that you feel like it is easy. Good. Yeah, fine. The answer is research is based on common sense knowledge based on the accumulated experiences and beliefs of the people. That is actually not a research. Okay, it's not on common sense knowledge because it is empirical, scientific in nature. That's what. Some of the types of hypothesis are follows. Choose the correct answer from the options given below. Yes. Descriptive, null, confounding, intervening, and causal hypothesis. Which are the no, you need to check whether which are the hypothesis types. So you should not go with the type which are not the types. So confounding is not a type of hypothesis because it is a variable. And intervening is also a type of variable. Okay, confounding and intervening. So you can go with A, B, and E. Descriptive hypothesis is there, null hypothesis is there, causal hypothesis is also there. Identify the qualitative research designs from the list given below. Yeah. Identify the qualitative research designs from the list given below. Exploring common experiences of individuals to develop a theory. Controlling, manipulating, observing, and measuring the effect. Okay. Controlling and manipulating maybe mostly you can go with experimental. That means quantitative. Controlling, manipulating, and goes with quantitative. So two won't be there. So the answer will be 1, 3, and 4. All the other options have two. See, there you need to crack it. Okay, don't go and read the next one. Two is not there. So definitely the first option will be the right answer. Right. That is the idea. Yeah. Criteria for hypothesis construction are it should describe one issue only, it should describe many issues, should specify variables between which the relationship is to be established, specific and precise, correct. Testable, it should be testable, correct. Yeah. It does not be actually, it should describe many issues. No, it's not it's describe because it should focus on the research topic. That's it. Okay, the next one, A, B, C, A, C, D, and E is the answer. A study meant to discover whether variables co-vary relates to co-vary. Variables are varying, or do they have a relationship? That is how you understand which is the type of relationship research. It is correlation research because you are assessing the relationship. Correlation research. Application of ICT in research is relevant in which of the following stages? survey of related studies, data collection in the field, data analysis, writing the thesis, indexing the references. Which all cases application of ICT in research is relevant? Yes, it is relevant in 1, 3 because survey it is there, data collection, data analysis is there, writing the thesis, indexing the reference. Writing the thesis won't be there. Writing the thesis won't be there. Okay. And obviously data collection in the field. Data collection, if it was, you need to have, but data collection in the field actually it is an offline, maybe not regarding with the ICT part. Now we have the key terms and the description of that key terms used in research. What do you mean by hypothesis? What do you mean by sample? What do you mean by research design? Sample, it's very easy to have. Hypothesis also. A tentative statement, 1, 3. Any option with 1, 3, yeah, definitely 4. That will be the answer there. That's it. See, 1, 3, 2, 4, you have got the answer. That's it. With 1, if you can match and then go with the options, definitely if it is there only once, you can go with the options there. Put the following in the correct order for writing the body of a research paper. By writing the body, okay, writing part, thesis writing. Procedures, introduction, conclusions, results, abstract. Okay. Is it introduction first or abstract first? Then you have an idea, then you will go with the options. It is easy. Definitely abstract is the first one. Abstract is the first one. And then the introduction comes. See, anyway, if you have the idea that if the abstract is the first one, definitely you can go with the option 1 because only E is the only one option with E starting. That's what. Sampling, in which sampling units are selected on the advice of some experts or by the intuition or opinion of the researcher himself. That means or advice of some experts or by intuition or opinion of the researcher himself. We have judgment, snowball. You have the keywords, intuition or opinion of researcher himself. It's actually judgment sampling. What are the other names for judgment sampling? We have purposive sampling, we have deliberate sampling, we have authoritative sampling. All those are other names for judgment sampling. Okay, it is a non-probability sampling. The probability sampling procedures are mostly used in which of the following researches? Okay, which of the following researches? Survey researchers, experimental researchers, phenomenology-based researchers, action, correlation design-based researchers. Basically, it's actually survey researchers we use, experimental and correlation. Basically quantitative, mostly qualitative also it use mostly quantitative. That is our way, experimental, correlational, all those types. That is probability sampling we use. A researcher attempts to evaluate the effect of the method of feeding on anxiety proneness of children with method of research would be appropriate. Case study, experimental, ex post facto. That means of research which is after the fact. A fact is there and we are researching on after the fact. So definitely we have an anxiety proneness. That is a fact. So researching on that means it's an ex post facto. Okay, now going to the next one. You need to arrange the following in increasing order of connotation. Connotation. So you have fielder, ball player. That means an extra meanings which are associated with these words. That is connotation that you have. Fielder, ball player, baseball player, athlete. So increasing order means you will have the first one as ball player. Any ball player it can be. Then comes it's in the fielder. Any ball player, maybe like fielder you have. Maybe like you have ball player, cricket ball player, then fielder in that. Then coming next one, the baseball player, then the athlete. So it's actually coming with the the increased connotation idea. In accordance with the square of opposition, which pair of statements are subordinate? Subordinate pairs are actually in the edges, side edges. Now we have A and I and O, E and O. That is the universal and the particular statements. So you should check for whether which is the universal and which is the particular. All dogs A and B is there. Can you do you have A and B? No. Do you have C and D? Because E and I is there. Sorry, E and O is there. So C and D will be the option. That is the right answer. A and D is also there. Oh, sorry, A and D. That means all dogs are mammals and some dogs are mammals. A and I. A and I. That's it. In the statement, no dogs are reptiles, which terms are distributed. So distribution, you need to study distribution. That means if it is distributed, it need to talk about every member in that group. Okay, no dogs. Okay, reptiles, no dogs are reptiles. So which terms are distributed? If it is only subject and predicate, or if it is only subject, only predicate, both subject and predicate. So here In an E-type statement, both subject and predicate are distributed. That means here, no dogs means it is talking about every dogs which are not being reptiles. And we are just check the Venn diagram. For example, no dogs are reptiles. The Venn diagram that you draw is two circles which are apart. So we'll shade this two exactly, entirely two we'll shade. So that is all distributed. It's talking about every dogs and every reptiles. That's what. And if it is not distributed, it means it is talking about only some members in the group. Next one. The sun has risen in the east every day so far. Therefore, the sun will rise in the east tomorrow also. This is an example of what? Is it deductive reasoning, analogical reasoning, inductive reasoning, or is it a fallacy? Yes, it is obviously inductive reasoning from the specific cases to a general conclusion, not a fallacy at all. So it is an inductive reasoning where it have evidence from the specific type of statements to general conclusions. Deductive is just the opposite, general statements to particular conclusions. If one of the contradictories is true, then the other must be dash. Contradictories of square of opposition. So A, E, I, O you have. So if one of the contradictories is true, then the other must be false. The option is false that you have. Of course, you want to buy a golden pair brand phone. Golden pair brand phones look good in one's hand, and all the Bollywood stars can be seen carrying them these days. There is a fallacy, and which fallacy is committed? See, it is actually you're believing in a popular opinion of a people, maybe a person or a people. That's what. So it is actually appeal to people or argumentum ad populum, the other name also called bandwagon fallacy. Okay. Appeal to people or argumentum ad populum, this type of fallacy is called that. So some birds are apes is given as false. Then which of the following statements can be immediately inferred that to be true? Okay, so you need to draw the Venn diagram. Sorry, the square of opposition diagram. A, E, I, O is here. Okay. So you need to feel that some birds are apes is given as false. This is given as false. I is given as false. So immediately inferred to be true. Definitely this will be true because both cannot be false at the same time, right? And this will be true again. And this you should not, this is actually, if this is false, this will be false. So E and O. That means this is an odd type statement. D is an odd type statement, and C and D will be the right option. Okay. So C and D will be the right option because all birds are not apes. It is an odd type statement because it starts with all and it is a negation. Negative statement with the start with all, you can convert it to odd type. Yeah. So C and D will be the option. You need to study the square of opposition very clearly. We have the YouTube shorts in our channel that I have done regarding with the square of opposition explaining it. You can see that, right? Which of the following statements are so related that they cannot both be true, although they both may be false? They cannot both be true means it is a statements with the contraries. That means A and E are the pairs. A and E are the pairs. So where we have what is that? A and B, right? A and B because it is an A-type statement. This is an A-type statement. This is an E-type statement. So these are the pairs of contrary pairs where they both cannot be true at the same time, but they can be false. That is a rule. Next one. The premises of a deductive argument are claimed to provide conclusive evidence for the truth of its conclusion. The statement to the inductive argument provided less trustworthy support to the conclusion. So which of the statements do you think that it is correct and incorrect? Deductive argument are claimed to provide conclusive evidence, but inductive, they provide less trustworthy support. Yeah, that is the true statements, which were two statement 1 and 2 are true because in deductive provide a substantial support, but premises of the inductive does not provide a substantial support to the conclusion. So both statements are true. You need to convert to categorical, correct categorical proposition. The hidden proposition starts with only. Okay. Only students can access the library. So the words or the statement starting with only can be converted to A type. That means all type. But the problem is the word starting with only. You need to interchange the predicate and subject. When you convert, you need to interchange the predicate and subject. So here it will be all who can access the library are students will be the right option. All who can access the library are students will be the right option because You need to interchange the options. Sorry, subject and predicate for only. It is a special case for only. All children are not greedy is an example of which proposition. Okay. See, whenever you see the maybe at the first time you can see that all children are not greedy, maybe a type of A type proposition. No, it's not an A type because it is a negation with all. It's a negative statement starting with all type. Sorry, all. So it is a particular, it can be converted to negative, particular negative. That is, some children are not greedy is the correct form. So it is a particular negative form, or type, or type. In logical terms, the emotional associations a word carries, the emotional associations. That means maybe there will be not maybe there will be a dictionary definition for a word, and there are extra meanings. For example, snake. It is a you can the dictionary meaning is actually it is a reptile with it's a venomous reptile, something like that. But snake you can associate danger, maybe like that. Sin. So it's connotation. The emotional associations of word carries are called connotation. So dangers, sin and all, it is connotations of snake. The other one is a denotation. If the propositions all republics are grateful is taken to be true. So here also again a square of opposition you have A, E, I and O. So here A is given to be true. Which of the following propositions can be false? So E, it is false actually. O is also actually false. I is true actually, because if universal is true, particular must be true. So F, E and O. This is E, O, and this is E. I think it is 2 and 3. Yeah, 2 and 3 will be the right answer. 2 and 3 will be the false statements. Two propositions are contradictory if contradictory. So that means on the vertical or diagonal pairs. Okay, these are the contradictory A, E, I, O. You have the square of opposition. So you have A and O and E and I. These are the contradictory pairs. Of the pair, exactly one is true and exactly one is false. That is correct. And also they cannot both be true also is correct. They can both be false, won't work out. They cannot both be false. They cannot both be false. So it is A, B, D. A, B, D will be the right option. B only is the rule, but by the rule, these are also right options. They cannot, because for A and I, A and O, they cannot both be true also. Because if one is true, other is false, right? And they cannot both be false also. That way also you should think, okay. You need to get the idea of sub-contrary propositions. Which of the following statements are true regarding sub-contrary propositions? If one is true, other must be false. Sub-contrary, if one is true, other must be false. No, it is wrong. They cannot both be false. That is correct. If one is false, other must be true. That is correct. They can both be true. That is also correct. So B, C, D will be the option. B, C, D. Because sub-contrary pairs, the rule is both cannot be false at the same time. Yeah. So B, C, D will be the option. Yeah. Yes, guys, that was a quick revision on research aptitude and logical reasoning. You need to see maybe like if you can revise, see the video once again, you will get an idea on that. Yeah. So that was for today. We'll see you